The Edmonton Oilers were a popular pick among many fans to win the Stanley Cup this season, but their series against the Vegas Golden Knights revealed a host of problems within the squad. Of everyone on the roster, the one who was least at fault for the defeat was Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl has earned the reputation of being one of the best playoff performers in the NHL based on incredible performances that date back to his very first playoff run in 2017. Today, we look into the history of Leon Draisaitl's playoff performances, because not only is he one of the best postseason players in the league right now, but he's proven himself to be one of the best of all time. Draisaitl's first playoff run was in 2016-17, a season in which the Oilers finally broke out of their decade-long slog of bad teams and bad management. They had a record of 47-26-9 and were led by a 20-year-old Connor McDavid. The Oilers matched up against the San Jose Sharks in round 1. The Oilers would win in 6 games with an excellent all-around team effort, as 12 of the 16 players who skated in all 6 games would register a point in the series. In the next round, the Oilers were matched up against the veteran Anaheim Ducks. The series would go 7 games, but in the end, the Ducks won on home ice. This is where Draisaitl first broke out though, totaling the most goals and assists for Edmonton and ending the series with just under a 2-point-per-game average. Draisaitl finished the series 5 points above next closest Oilers scorer Mark Letestu and 8 points above McDavid. In total, Draisaitl finished the 2017 postseason with 6 goals and 16 points and would remain in the top 10 in playoff scoring for the year, despite playing less games than everyone above him. The Oilers underachieved each of the next 2 seasons, cycling through players and coaches. In 2019-20, they made it back within playoff range, as teams 5-12 were given the chance to advance through the qualifying round. Their reward for finishing 5th in the West was a matchup against the 12th-seeded Chicago Blackhawks. In what was a high-scoring 4-game series, the Blackhawks shocked the Oilers and advanced to the first round. Draisaitl was one of few on the team that showed up, with Edmonton's big 3 centers all averaging a point per game or higher. The season afterwards, the Oilers got better, and again had a lucky go of things in being matched up against one of the weaker teams in the playoffs, the Winnipeg Jets. The Oilers were swept, with every player failing to do what was expected of them. Leon Draisaitl was the only player to score 2 goals for the club in the series. Draisaitl had done well to this point, particularly in 2017, but no Oilers fan was going to care if they kept bowing out early. The 2021-22 Oilers showed more promise under new coach Jay Woodcroft, and Draisaitl would go into the playoffs, finishing as the league's 2nd highest goal scorer and 4th highest point scorer. The first round was against the Los Angeles Kings, a team Edmonton was heavily favored over. The series ended up being much closer than expected, with McDavid and Evander Kane leading the way through. Draisaitl still had a very good 5-goal and 9-point total for the 7-game series. Next in line was the Calgary Flames. The Flames were one of the Cup favorites going into the postseason, and the series was expected to go their way. It was by no means expected to be easy for them though, as the Battle of Alberta would undoubtedly be intense. This series was Draisaitl's biggest accomplishment, as he put up quite possibly the most dominant series of offensive performances ever. In every single game, Draisaitl scored 3 or more points, capping off his run with a primary assist on Connor McDavid's series-clinching Game 5 overtime winner. In total, Draisaitl scored 2 goals and 17 total points for a ridiculous 3.4 point-per-game average. This was the most points tallied by a player in a single series since 1992, and the joint 3rd highest series total ever, behind only Rick Middleton and Wayne Gretzky. Draisaitl did it in only 5 games though, breaking the 5-game series point record held by Wayne Gretzky since 1987. All in all, Draisaitl came away from the Oilers-Flames series holding records for the most points in a 5-game series ever, most assists in a single series ever, and highest points per game in a series ever. The Oilers were swept by the eventual Cup champion Colorado Avalanche in the next round. Draisaitl had 6 points in the 4 games. After the series, reports of the Oilers' injuries began to surface. It was clear Draisaitl had been playing with some sort of knock, but nobody knew exactly what. As it turns out, Draisaitl had played most of the playoffs with a high ankle sprain, including the entirety of the Calgary series. Leon Draisaitl had broken records held by the likes of Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux and scored levels above anybody ever before, all while being injured throughout all of it. With that in mind, there's no question that this was one of the most incredible runs ever. In 2023, the Oilers again matched up in the first round against the Kings. Draisaitl led them through the 6-game series, scoring in every game except the third. Coming out of the first round, he was joint first in the league in playoff goals and second in playoff points behind Roope Hintz. In the first game of Edmonton's second-round series against Vegas, Draisaitl scored 4 goals. The Oilers as a team finished with 4 goals and lost to Vegas' 6-goal performance. This was a disheartening loss, as when one of your team's superstars scores 4 times and it still isn't enough, you know you're not in great shape. The Oilers would go on to lose the series in 6 games, with minimal stat sheet contribution from Leon after Game 1. Even still, he finished with the second most goals of anyone in the second round, behind only Joe Pavelski. At the end of his 2023 run, Leon Draisaitl finished the 2023 postseason with only 5 assists but with 13 goals, a number that may stand as the highest tally by any individual player in the 2023 postseason. Draisaitl has been consistent in every playoff run he's ever participated in. He's gone above and beyond plenty of times, whether that be in individual games or throughout the length of an entire series. He's broken playoff records held by Wayne Gretzky, and if he were to retire today, he would be an all-time great. At the top of the all-time playoff points per game leaders, there are 3 names: Wayne Gretzky, then Mario Lemieux, and then Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl hasn't played the amount of games Gretzky and Lemieux have, and hasn't won a cup yet either. But if he keeps up at this pace, and goes on to win a championship in his career, then Leon Draisaitl will undoubtedly go down as one of the very best NHL playoff performers ever, and the best of the modern era.